Hi everyone, welcome back to story time. We are reading the Sisters Grimm, the Fairy Tale Detectives, and we just left on a cliffhanger. So, the girls, they are trying to find Granny Relda, who was kidnapped by a giant, and they have no clue what is happening. But now there's this character, Puck, and he's kind of like Peter Pan, but a trickster, so he's like a worse version of Peter Pan. Anyway, Puck is friends with Granny Relda. We don't know the extent of it, but we know that they're friends, and so he is going to help them, right? So what we just left off was they were reading a diary entry from their father, who, again, left them, right? Because they're orphans. But anyway, they are now trying to figure out why Mayor Charming is evil. They kind of figured out he's evil because he wants to make the Fairyport Landing his kingdom again. Anyway, let's find out what happens. But what's that got to do with giants? And if he wanted to buy the farm, why did he send that Mr. Englishman to do the work? Daphne asked. I believe that Mr. Englishman and Mayor Charming are the same person. Charming does have an English accent. He could have worn a disguise so Mr. Appleby wouldn't recognize him as the mayor, Sabrina said. I bet you're right, her sister said. But where did the giant come in? Sabrina wondered aloud. In the old days, giants and people used to work together all the time, Puck said, stealing the purple apple from Sabrina's plate and chomping on it. They did? Oh yeah, giants are pretty dumb, the boy said. From what I hear, you can pretty much talk them into anything. He's right. Daphne was poring over a large book entitled Anatomy of Giants. I don't know what this word is, she said. How's it spelled? Alliances. It's alliances. It means to team up or join a group, Sabrina explained. It says that in olden days, people used to form all the alliances with giants to destroy their enemies. People found that giants were very dumb and could be easily tricked. Charming's using the giants to scare people off their land. Anyone that won't sell gets squashed, Sabrina said. But you said he used Glenda to erase the farmer's mind, right? Puck interrupted. Yes. Well, why would he do that? Why would he want the farmer to forget to be afraid? And don't forget the lens cap, Daphne added. If he were trying to scare them off, why would he want to videotape it? I don't think I'd want any proof of what I've done if it were me. Sabrina didn't have any more answers. Let me finish, her sister said, looking down at the book. It also says that rarely do all the alliances. It says that they usually backfire in most cases. The human was eaten by the giant or dragged off to a giant kingdom to be a slave. There's a story here about a giant kidnapping a princess for an evil baron. And before the baron could collect a ransom from her family, the giant ate her, Daphne said quietly. It says the townspeople used hound dogs to track down the giant because the giants have a strong smell. When they caught him, he nearly killed the entire town before they could bring him down. The girls spent a moment looking into each other's worried eyes. What if the giant had eaten Granny and Mr. Canis? What if he was eating them as they wasted time doing research? It says when giants get out of hand, the townspeople sent a hero to kill the giants for them, Daphne read. His name was Jack in his prime. He killed more than 10 giants, stole treasure from the giant kingdom, and was world famous. Jack, do any of you guys know? Jack and the Beanstalk? That's what they're talking about. Sabrina turned his attention back to his father's journal. She flipped through more of its pages until she found an envelope stuffed inside. What's this? She wondered aloud. Daphne got up from her chair and walked around the table to look. It says, to Sabrina, Daphne, and Puck from Granny Relda. What? See, I told you I knew her, Puck cried. Read it, Daphne begged. Sabrina tore open the letter and began to read. Lieblings, if you're reading this, then one of the investigations has not turned out the way I had hoped. I don't want to worry you, as I am very experienced with all kinds of things and can take care of myself, and I know a little kung fu. If for some reason I am unable to be there and you need my help, you should take my keys and enter the room you have been forbidden to enter. All the answers you need will be staring you in the face. Love, Granny Relda. P.S. Don't give Elvis any sausage. It makes him gassy. Oh my word, are we gonna find out what's in that room? She wants us to go into the room? Puck said in amazement. I've been trying to get in there since the day she told me it was off limits. Cool. That's where she got that giant detector she used at the farm, Daphne cried. I bet the place is filled to the ceiling with stuff that we can use to rescue them. Staring us in the face. What does that mean? Sabrina said. But before she knew it, her little sister was halfway up the stairs with the key ring in her hand. Wait up! Sabrina shouted, taking the stairs 2 at a time. But by the time they got to the top, Daphne was already trying keys. I bet she's got a shrink ray in there. We'll shrink him down to the size of an ant and stomp on him, the younger girl said. Hurry, Sabrina said. Puck flew up the stairs and grabbed the keys out of Daphne's hand. Royalty first, peasant. She gave these keys to us, Sabrina snapped, snatching the keys from him. A set of keys you have no idea how to use, Puck shouted, taking them back. Puck, give me those keys. No! Listen, Puck, don't make me do something you're going to regret. I've fought tougher guys than you, Grim. Though most of them had been better smelling breath. What is going on out there? A voice suddenly boomed from behind the door. It startled them all so much that they fell backwards onto the floor. Did you hear that? Daphne whispered. Everyone heard that, Sabrina and Puck replied. Knock off that racket right now, the voice shouted angrily. Maybe it's the sheriff. Maybe he got into the house somehow, Daphne whispered. Hampstead would have come down and grabbed us, her sister said. Besides, Elvis isn't freaking out. Then who is it? Puck said. Granny locks that door for a reason. If there's someone in that room, Granny doesn't want them going anywhere. They might be dangerous, Sabrina warned. I'm not afraid, the boy cried. I have an idea, Daphne said. She took Puck and Sabrina's hands and led them back downstairs and into the kitchen. Within the minutes, the girls and Puck were standing at the bottom of the stairs again. Each was wearing a metal spaghetti strainer as a mighty battle helmet. Daphne wore an ancient washing board on her chest and had duct-taped huge metal spoons to each kneecap as protection from unfair kicks. She held a frying pan as her weapon. Sabrina had a pressure cooker lid taped to her behind. She held a wok pan for a shield and a rolling pin for a club. She swung it, preparing to whack whomever might be on the other side of the door. Puck had his trusty sword in one hand and a carrot peeler in the other. He found a couple of cookie pans to tape to his chest and back, and feet were encased in oven mitts. Here's a picture of it. So what did they do? They went into the kitchen. There's Puck. We haven't seen him really yet. I guess that other picture. And then Daphne and Sabrina. So they went downstairs and they made a bunch of armor out of kitchen utensils. The big dog stood behind them with an odd, confused expression. We should send Elvis up first, Sabrina said. Good idea, Daphne replied. Sabrina turned to the Great Dane. Elvis, there's someone upstairs. Go get him. Elvis sat down on his hind legs and used his back paw to scratch his neck. If he understood the order, he wasn't letting on. Discouraged, Sabrina turned back to her sister and Puck. We'll go together and sneak up on him. They nodded in agreement, and all three took the first step up the stairs. Their armor clanged and knocked around, causing a tremendous racket. By the time they got to the top of the steps, Sabrina realized that a sneak attack was probably no longer realistic. So she went to plan B. Whoever's up here better leave, because we're armed to the teeth, and I wouldn't want to be you when we find you, Sabrina shouted. Her threat was met with silence. Maybe he's gone, Daphne said hopefully. I say we bust down the door and skin him alive, Puck said loudly. There's going to be no skinning of anyone, Sabrina said as she fumbled in her pocket and pulled out the king ring. She started the tedious work of finding the right key, and soon one went in the lock and clicked. Just stay together and most of all, stay calm. If we don't panic, we can take this guy ourselves, Sabrina said. On 3, Daphne whispered, giving her frying pan a practice swing. 1, 2, 3! Sabrina screamed, pushing the door open and rushing into the room. The trio swung their weapons, frantically slashing at whatever enemy dared to face their deadly kitchen utensils. After several minutes and 0 deadly hits, Sabrina stopped and looked around the room. In the moonlight from the single window, she could see it was empty, except for a wood-framed, full-length mirror that hung on a wall. Puck, who was lying on the floor laughing hysterically, roared, "Stay calm, you say?" "Where did he go?" Daphne said as she pierced behind the door and found no one. "Maybe we imagined it," Sabrina said, scowling at the boys' laughter. "Come on, let's get back to work." She turned to leave, but Daphne said, "Granny's note said that the answers we need would stare us in the face." She pointed at the mirror. "It's just a mirror," her sister argued. "It can't hurt to take a look," Puck said, and trotted over to it. Sabrina switched on the room light and reluctantly joined them, followed by Daphne, and together they looked at their reflections. "I think I see something," Daphne said. What is it?" Sabrina said. "A booger. It's in your nose." The little girl laughed. "Gotcha!" Puck laughed so hard he snorted, and then saw Sabrina staring and stopped abruptly. "Who are you?" a loud voice suddenly bellowed from within the mirror. Sabrina looked into its reflection and felt the hairs on the back of her neck stand on end. A face was staring out at her, but it was not her own. Floating without a body, the face was that of a man with a bald head and thick, angular features. He stared at the children with eyes like blue flames, flickering a mixture of rage and disgust, as if the children were rodents found munching on the turkey during Christmas dinner. Terrified, the children ran back towards the door, but a blue ray shot from the mirror, hit the door, and slammed it shut, trapping them inside. "Who are you?" the head bellowed. "Tell me now, or I will kill you where you stand." That's the end. Now it's chapter 7. Whoa! I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of scary. So, do you guys remember a story that has a mirror in it? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Anyone? Snow White, very good. Do you think this could be the mirror from Snow White? And in that case, is the mirror going to help them find Granny Relda? What's going to happen next? I don't know, but as you know, there's only one way to find out. Tune in next week. Bye.